I'm sitting here with Elliott DeGraff. Elliott is a volunteer pilot with Pilots-N-Paws. And Elliott just flew into Newburgh Airport here in Newburgh, New York, and he delivered 9 dogs. Nine dogs. One was a litter of 3 Chihuahua Dachshund mixed puppies, and the other was a litter of Lab mixed puppies, I believe.
Yeah.
And those dogs are now on their way to foster families in Connecticut and New York, and then when they're old enough, they'll be placed for adoption. So, Elliott, first of all, thank you for spending your Saturday flying the puppies up north.
I love it.
Can you tell me where you started out this morning?
I started out home in Poolesville, Maryland.
Poolesville, Maryland.
Drove up to the airport in Frederick, Maryland.
Okay.
Flew over to Martinsburg, West Virginia to meet the ground transport, which was bringing them up from Shenandoah Airport. The way they got to Shenandoah Airport in Virginia, Harrisonburg, Virginia, is a guy took off at the crack of dawn this morning from Tennessee and brought them over.
Wow.
So they've gone, here they are from Tennessee.
So from Tennessee to Maryland or Virginia.
Virginia to West Virginia to New York.
Wow. That's
and
some trip.
Now they're going to Connecticut and New York. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you just explain briefly what Pilots-N-Paws is all about?
Okay, it's a bunch of volunteer pilots. We volunteer our time in our airplanes, and it's to carry mainly dogs, but also other animals, sometimes cats, an occasional bird, from high kill shelters in the South. They're not really shelters. And the nice thing about it is it helps you to maintain proficiency. And a side effect is that part of your cost is tax deductible, which is very nice. And it's much healthier than the proverbial $100 hamburger. So.
Well, that's
and it's
true.
addictive.
So how often do you fly in like a month's time?
I will probably fly 2 to 3 flights in a month. As I said, it gets to be addictive because the first year, 2 years ago, I flew a total of 11 dogs and 1 cat. And last year, I flew a total of 57. And this year, I'm at 71 as of today.
Wow. And what's the furthest that you've flown?
I think the furthest, some of my flights go from Frederick to, say, Bluefield, West Virginia. That's one, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And then, or the second leg, which would be from Frederick or Martinsburg, West Virginia, to Syracuse or Schenectady.
And why personally did you choose to volunteer?
I don't know. I saw a thing on the TV news about it, and I said, boy, that's a neat thing to do. And the pilots are always looking for an excuse to go flying, and this gives you a great excuse, and you can say, I'm doing real good things when I'm doing it.
Do animals make good passengers?
Yeah. Usually I have them in cages, if I've got a lot of them. Today I had them all in crates. Other times, if they're big dogs and know each other, are friendly with each other, I'll tether them in the back of the plane. I took the back seats out of my airplane. It just takes about 5 minutes. And I put down a tarpaulin and a mover's blanket. And so the dogs have a good place to lie down, and they usually do. And they might be a little restless, but as soon as you take off, it's the drone of the engine and whatever, and they just go to sleep generally.
So I have to ask, do they get an in-flight snack?
No, they do not get an in-flight snack. No, that's one thing. If you're thinking of having a dog go by Pilots-N-Paws, please, under no circumstances, feed them after midnight the night before.
Okay. Well, Elliott, I know you have a long flight home, and
It's
thank you very
only
much.
a couple of hours.
Couple of hours. Well, that's a long flight, but it's a beautiful day.
It is a
So
beautiful
I
day,
hope you
yeah.
have a safe trip home, and
Right.
thanks again.
Oh, thank you, Melissa.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Okay, watch
Yeah.
this. All right. Put both your hands over here. Okay, and then lift. And then you just cuddle her foot. Cuddle her foot. There you go.